Welcome to this episode of Talking About Rock, sponsored by School of Rock, North Buffalo. I'm Rob Edwards. Today we have for you from Sydney, Australia, a symphonic rock band that keeps striving to achieve new heights. Theatrical rockers Crosson, here to talk about their latest release, Ready, Aim, Rock. Let's welcome Jason Crosson to the show. Hey, Jason, how you doing?
Hey, Rob, thank you for having me.
We appreciate you being here. Definitely. So let's start a little bit. We know we got the new album coming out, but I want to let the folks know a little bit about yourself. So you actually started playing at a very young age. You were playing piano at 6 years old, I was reading.
Yeah, I think it was piano. It was actually piano accordion of all things.
Okay.
My dad loved the instrument, and was one of these chubby little Greek kids with a piano accordion.
Right, and your first inspiration was listening to ABBA music, I guess, right?
Yeah, back then, it was all ABBA, and a few years later, I got the Kiss came along, and that was the end of me.
Oh, I hear you. That was my first concert as well when I saw Kiss back in '78. When I saw that was it. Yep, definitely. And then later on, you got into the heavier other hair metal bands, as we love to call them, right? Motley Crue and such.
Yes, yeah, I remember it as a teenager picking up this black album with a pentagram on it, and I opened it up, and the cover was these four guys in hell. It was Motley Crue, Shout at the Devil, and that was
right.
it. I was hooked.
Right, yeah. When I saw that myself, I wasn't sure if is this guys or is this girls? I wasn't sure at first, But yeah, definitely a breakthrough album for them for sure. And then you started getting into a little heavier stuff, right? You started to get into Iron Maiden and stuff like that.
Yeah, so I think probably the first concert I actually went to was the World Slavery Tour, and just being there and seeing 15-foot mummies and fireworks and Dave Murray being next to flames. I just looked at that and went, yeah, I want to do that.
Right. They always put on such a great show. They still do, and they have such a great following. All right, so yeah. So before we get into the new release, let's give our audience a little history lesson here on what's happened with you folks. So formed in 2006, you guys have released 6 albums and a live DVD. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. It was actually, I started the band probably a bit earlier than that, probably 99, but we were still finding our way. And it wasn't until the first album was released in 2004, I think it was. But they were all just, the first 2 albums were pretty much independent stuff, just in Australia, and playing small venues and just making our way. We sort of didn't have the image then. It took a lot of years of trial and error.
Oh,
to
sure.
Get our sound and image to work together. And that sort of came along in about 2016 when we released Spreading the Rock and Roll Disease. We got Dwayne Barron on board as our mixing engineer. And I mean, Dwayne's done stuff like Girls, Girls, Girls and Poison and Ozzy Osbourne's No More Tears and Alice Cooper. So it was like a sort of a match made in heaven. And he's been our mixing engineer ever since.
Yeah, it's definitely doing a fantastic job for you. And you guys, I think you hit the charts pretty hard then in Germany at the metal charts, right, with Invincible, right? That was a great album for you guys as well.
Yeah, well, we got signed to in 2015 with that album. We got signed to a German label, so a lot of our press and a lot of our marketing was sort of done over in Germany. And I guess being in that sort of scene, it got us onto the charts there, and been trying to improve each album ever since.
Right. I know they have such a bigger metal rock following over in Europe and the countries over there than we currently have in the US. It seems to be really, really big there. Lots of different festivals going on and all kinds of things.
I don't think it ever died there. In Australia and I guess in the US, that sort of scene just sort of in the 90s sort of faded away. But I think in Scandinavia and Sweden and Germany, that scene just sort of kept on going.
And then,
even to today.
Right. And then in 2020, you did some tours with Ron Keel and Enough's Enough.
Yes. So that was great. We hopped on board. It was like a little touring festival thing. And that was great. Ron actually really loved what we did. You'd see Ron and Janet Gardner at the back when we were on, because we were opening, obviously, and you'd see them at the back just checking out what we did. And then on the final night, we finished our set and I'd gotten out of my gear and I'm having a cigarette with Ron Keel on the steps, and he goes, "Do you want to come up on stage and do the Right to Rock?" And I went, "Yep."
Nice.
Whacked
Yeah,
on my
of course I
clothes.
do, Ron.
Yeah,
Right?
is that a trick
Exactly.
question?
Right. Silly question. Excellent. Excellent. All right. So cool. So tell us about the new album, Ready, Aim, Fire, how that came about. Tell us a little about that.
Okay, so look, we just basically we've tried to improve each album as it comes along, and the one before, Rock and Roll Love Affair, like it got some good reviews. It was pretty what we do, just try and create catchy rock anthems, but we just had to better ourselves for this one, and then that's what happens with every album. You get good reviews, and then you've just got to go better and better and better. And with this one, I thought, well, okay. I sort of dwelled into my passion for Jim Steinman as a songwriter. As you guys know, he's Meatloaf, Bonnie Tyler.
Right.
So I'd be in the studio going, okay, what do I do here? What would Steinman do, or what would Desmond Child do?
Desmond, right? Phenomenal writer, Desmond Child. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So being a writer, I sort of admire writers, so to speak. Guitarists, have. They admire guitar players. Being a writer, it's me. I got to see what would these guys do here, yeah. And you can hear a bit of Meatloafy style, still keeping our catchy rock anthems, but adding that little bit of theatrics into it as well, and embellishing that sort of style.
Yeah, that's definitely so important. Yeah, definitely the showmanship that you guys put into it, the theatrics, the symphonic sound. It's definitely all there, and I agree with you about the lyric thing, because that's huge for me. If there's a catchy song, that's great, but if the lyrics are really intense and really speak to you, I think that's what really gets the audience.
Yeah, well, that's always the hardest thing for me, trying to write
right.
lyrics and not repeat. Generally I've got nothing to say.
Right. I was reading, like, you usually write when you get into the studio. You don't usually write before, right?
I demo everything, so I could work till 2 PM, in the morning. So the way I do it is I'll write all the stuff, I'll demo it. I'll pretty much do all the instruments as a demo. Then I'll give it to the guys. If I'm stuck, I've got I've got a couple of people I can go to and say, listen, what should we do here? Right, but generally, I'll demo everything, then give it to the musicians, and let them add their flavor to it. Gotcha. Let the drummer do his thing, let the guitarist do his thing, but the structures are already there.
Right.
It's all pretty much there except for the solos.
Right. And again, you had Dwayne Barrow on here. He mixed, and Dave Donnelly mastered for you with Aerosmith, Kiss, and Whitesnake. Got some amazing guys behind the project. That's great.
Well, that's great. I mean, they do give it that really boost that sound, and the way Dwayne mixes and it just makes our songs it just gives it a bigger boost.
Yeah, definitely. And the production value has grown for you guys, for sure. I went back and listened to a lot of your earlier stuff and kind of moved forward and stuff, and you can definitely see that growth from the time period. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's great, but there's also, like my guitarist just said, we're getting a good rap for this album, and it's like, oh, the pressure's on now for the next one. It's got to be bigger and better.
What can you do next? Of course, that's the way it goes. Right, actually, excellent. Yeah. So I wanted to talk about the first single you guys released, and it's such a positive anthem, United. I really like it.
Thank you. Yeah. Look, most of the stuff that we most of the lyrical content, I guess you write what you surround yourself with. And for a long time, I just listened to all those positive speakers and motivational speakers. So a lot of our stuff's quite uplifting. It's about, if you've got a dream, go get it. Don't let anything stop you, and to do the right thing, and you'll get there. Just keep on going. It's perseverance more than anything else.
Exactly. I love the message, and I love the track. And we're going to take a quick break here. We're going to play the video for United, and we'll be right back here on Talking About Rock.
Jury
Okay, we're back here on Talking About Rock with Jason Crosson. Just checked out the video for United. Excellent track. I really like that. I really, such anthem rock you guys got going. Like I said, was saying, that symphonic type of sound and a positive message, right? We don't get that a lot from a lot of rock and metal bands. I mean, the only ones that really strike out to me are like Triumph back in the day. They always seem to have a positive thing to say.
Yeah.
Striper, but of course theirs is more religious overtones and things. But most of the hard rock stuff is usually not like that. You know what I mean?
Life's too short to be singing depressing music and rock.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
usually,
I love Striper and I love Triumph. Fight the good fight and never surrender. And they were great. And I'm
yeah.
the big Striper fan. They'd been my top five. So
Yeah, and they're actually touring again, and they're playing, and again they got new tracks out, which is kind of cool. They played in the area not too long ago, but I didn't get a chance to catch them. But yeah, I really
oh,
like
they
their earlier stuff for sure.
yeah. I mean, I love even that. I just think they've just gotten better and better. The last two or three Striper albums are unbelievable.
Yeah, there's you definitely can tell. So
Yeah,
I
Michael
always
Sweet's a
ask some
genius.
of the standard questions when I get to the guitarist here, and you're a guitarist and a vocalist, so I guess I have to ask you both. So
Yeah.
being a guitar player, do you have a certain rig you have set up, or certain things you've gone through, certain effects, or certain things you like to do? Do you like to tone down for different songs, or what are some of the things you do?
Well, for me, the guitar is more of a writing tool. I play guitar when we play live. I might do it for two or three songs, but it just limits. I like running around basically and shaking my booty, so
Right,
it
you got
sort
to
of
get the
limits
audience
me behind.
excited, sure.
So it limits me behind the stage. But as far as when we go up on live, I just tell my stage manager, I just said, just give me a good heavy sound, because sometimes we're sharing. Most of the time we're sharing backline and all that sort of stuff. So you're not going to get
Right,
your amp and all that sort of stuff. As
right.
long as I've got a good heavy sound, I'm not so much a purist as long as I've got a good distorted sound when I'm playing. Our lead guitarist, Marco, he's got his whole rig set up. So
Yeah, because I know there's a lot of guitar players. They're always like searching for that tone or that right effect to get that right type of distortion they're looking for in their tone or whatever. And sometimes it takes a long time.
I'm a Libra and I can't decide. So just give me something that sounds heavy.
I understand. I understand. Sure, sure. So on the vocal side of it, do you do anything to prepare vocally? Do you do any warm ups, or is there anything that you do or go through?
I definitely suck on a lot of soothers and lots of honey and tea. Like, I'll go off the stage during a costume change, and there's
Right,
my lemon tea with honey in it, just to keep the vocal cords smooth.
right, right. Ace Frehley does that all the time. He's always drinking some honey and stuff before his set. Yep.
Right, yeah, yeah. And I've obviously a few warm ups and so forth. Yeah, of course. As long as I can hear myself okay, then it's all good.
Nice, nice. So do you have any real memorable, venues you played or shows that you did, anything that sticks out in your mind? Obviously you mentioned, that episode with Ron Keel, and that's excellent, him bringing you on. But is there any other stuff that comes to mind for you?
Oh, look, I mean, generally, if this is an appreciative crowd, they're the ones that really stand out, when they go nuts. And there's a couple of venues like we've played in Sydney. There was a place called Frankie's, which is like a legendary rock club. And the last time we played there, the place just went absolutely insane. I guess it was also because people had been locked up for 2 years. So it
Right,
was like
right.
letting out a pack of caged animals.
Right, yeah. That's a big thing now, right? I mean, there's so many tours happening right now. I guess the hard thing is to actually get a venue. You know what I mean? When you finally get a package together and figure out where you're going to go and what you're going to do, it's finding venues or finding halls. They're just booked, I guess, like till next year at this point, from what I'm hearing.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, if you try to get something here, you got to be looking at now. You got to be looking at April, May, June at the earliest.
Right, right.
Because everything's just booked out. And there's a lot of in Australia. There's a lot of tributes, so they take up a lot of the spaces as well because
A
they
lot
pull
of tribute
crowd.
bands still going on there.
Yeah, still a lot of tributes going
Yeah,
on.
that's kind of really big here still too. I mean, obviously the big thing is the cost of the shows, right? You get to the big headlining bands and stuff, and it's thousands of dollars if you want to sit real close for these guys, or you could go see a tribute for 20-30 bucks and see a tribute band play it. So it's just it's just real tough. But with obviously with the streaming thing, that just kind of killed everything, right? No record sales, things like that. It's just very
Oh
tough
yeah, I mean,
nowadays.
we still sell CDs. In the mornings I'll go, oh, okay, what are we going to send off today?
Right,
So
right.
it's
Oh
like
yeah,
the
bands
US.
are still selling them. It's just not like it was in the day, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, the streaming thing. It's a double edged sword, I guess. I've discovered so many bands, and I'm sure people have discovered us as well via the streaming networks. Uh, so we wouldn't have been found. And then back in the day, if you didn't have a distribution deal, you couldn't get your record out. Now, well, you can just self distribute
That's
online,
very,
and
very true. Yeah, very true.
so
I do
it
the
gets
same
it out
thing
there.
myself. I pick a day out during the week, and all I do is listen to new music and check out new bands and things like that. So yeah, I totally agree with you.
Yeah, so I've discovered there's lots of great melodic rock bands coming from Sweden and so forth, like Heat and Crazy Licks and Eclipse. So I would never have discovered any of these guys if it wasn't for, oh, you might like this. And you click on it, and then it pops up, and you're hooked.
Exactly, exactly. So much good stuff coming out. So you guys also released another track, which was really cool. I wanted to check out called "Fallen from Grace." Can you tell us a little bit about that track?
Yeah, look, the track itself, if you actually listen to it, it's actually quite a positive message, um, like that uplifting stuff that we do. But what if we wanted to, with the video, we wanted to go a little left of field. So we sat down with the directors. We went, okay, let's try something different, and we came up with this whole fallen angel. The band turns into demons at the end, sort of theme, which
Okay,
which
nice.
which
Yeah,
works. We all got like wolf contact lenses and put them in,
right.
and the makeup artists went nuts with all the blood dripping down. So look, it was just add a bit of a horror theme to it, even though the song lyrically isn't along those lines.
Right, right.
It
You still got
works.
the theatrical value, which I love that. I really, really love that. So I wanted to play that real quick. So we'll take a look at the video for Fallen from Grace, and we'll be right back here on Talking About Rock.
might talk about.
Okay, we're back here on Talking About Rock. Just checked out the video for Fallen from Grace from the new album Ready, Aim, Rock. So really interesting stuff with that. You know, you were talking about it a little earlier with all the different costumes and the eye effects and stuff. Pretty interesting.
Well, that's what we try and do. I mean, obviously, when we write new songs, we have to sort of say, how are we going to fit this into the show? Because from beginning to end, it's full theatrical show. It's not like we're not like a normal band that just plays song after song after song. We've got to incorporate, and I've got to incorporate costumes with the girls and the choreography and how is this going to work? So that's another thing that we need to look at every time we release a new album or a new song. How are we going to present this on the stage?
Yeah, and I love that you guys do that, because I think so many bands forget about the showmanship part of it, forget about the theatrical part of it. You know what I mean? That's such a big piece of the entertainment puzzle there that they're missing if they don't include that. You know, people want to remember what they saw. They want to have an experience, right? And you guys are including that, which is excellent. I love that.
Well, yeah, I mean, people have eyes as well as ears. So you've got our objective is when we're on, no one's going to look at their watch.
Nice.
Yeah, so to say, oh, when's this finishing, or when's the next band coming on? We just, once we're on, they're focused on that stage, and they don't even want to blink because they might miss something.
Exactly. And you guys got a DVD out with your show. Now that's one of the older shows, so right?
That was done in that was recorded in late 2020. So that was pretty much our older set before this new album. So most of that stuff's sort of gone now. We've included a lot of material from the new album, which we're actually rehearsing now to present next month with our when we start playing again. So yeah, that's the whole thing. That's why we put that out. So those who haven't seen us can have that experience and go, oh well, this is what Crosson's about. And for us, it was like the closing chapter of I guess that set list, those songs, and it's time to move on to something new. We still keep something, you know, we still got Never Give Up and Spreading the Rock and Roll Disease, which we'll always keep. They're just the ones, the standard ones people like, and they go down really well. But just adding the new songs now, just to give it something different. You get a bit bored doing the same stuff over and over and over again.
Right. You definitely got to change it up and stuff. Yeah, definitely have to check out that DVD and check your show out. So do you have any dates coming up? Are you guys still in the works talking about what you're going to be doing for touring or playing out dates? Do you have any info yet?
Yeah, well, we actually had a tour with Crash Diet, a national tour with them in October, which was due to start in a few weeks, but the bass player got ill, so that's been postponed to early next year. We've got a show in Sydney on the 30th, which is like I guess our launch for Sydney for the album. And then we've got we're on a festival bill, which I can't really discuss at the moment.
Right. Still working out the details, right? Yep.
Well, yeah, it just hasn't been announced as yet, but that'll be like a touring glam festival in January. But yeah, but once that's announced, I can sort of talk a bit more about it.
Cool. Definitely. That sounds great. So if people want to know more about you, should they check you guys out on Facebook or your website? Where should they go? So
Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, it's at Crosson Rock, or they can just visit our website, which is crosson.com.au.
Excellent.
Please come visit us and give us a big thumbs up, and you'll be informed about everything that we're doing.
Excellent. We'll keep an eye out for you. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you coming on the show and checking in.
Thank you, Rob, for having me. Appreciate it.
Yep. And all you folks out there, if you want to know more about us, you have questions or comments, please feel free to email us at talkingaboutrock@gmail.com. Please like us and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And for this video interview and others, you can catch the video on YouTube, and it will be dropping to all the streaming services very soon as well. And check out the new album, obviously, Ready, Aim, Rock from Crosson. Jason, again, thank you for being with us tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you. All the best.
Yep. Have a good night.